Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Want to tell you some stuff. The information that I talk to you about, I bank it on the fact that it is supported by what we understand as God. Now, I know oftentimes we hear people talking about God, and they all oftentimes seem to be saying different things, and yet it doesn't matter how different they are, the outcome of each seems to be the same. And yet each one continue to perpetuate whatever they are perpetuating as though it's succeeding every time. And I guess if you believe in it, there's nothing else for you to do but keep on doing it. It's evidence that you believe it, but the inability for it to present itself, manifest itself, or be made really known, come into reality, then he can also say something else about the believer. And so that can include all of us in the land today of humankind. We all experience these kinds of things. Like we all breathe air and receive oxygen. Something special about that each of us require oxygen. It's amazing also that each of us got blood running through our body, through vessels called veins, and we all got a pump. Every last one of us got a pump called a heart. Man, we got so many things that are coming amongst us, you would almost think that with a little bit more shifting here in the face and stuff like that, we could all look like twins. But one thing we can say that wherever one of us come from, the chances are we all came from that same source. And that makes us like, well, what we have grown to understand is as family. But see, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, the reason I talk to you about God is because God is not fake to me. You know, we all hear about God at one time or another. The difference is that sometimes something happened in our lives that brings us closer. You know, we grow up in the church and we hear people talking about the love of God, you know, and the way they explain Jesus, stuff like that, we never get a chance to see that kind of love. So we always think as kids growing up that our grown-ups missing a lot. And in our own hearts, if we believe, we think that we could do a lot better. However, we haven't seen any practices, so we use the straight just like everybody else and still go to church and call ourselves this and that. But we never really appreciate the fact that we got a real connection with God because we know the adults, our people older than us, didn't. We never recognized that as being real. But anyway, this is how, as a kid, I used to go to the lake to swim. You know, black people couldn't go to swimming pools. We didn't have anything like that in the South. We go find a lake. And in the lake, sometimes you got a mud. That mud is the part that you haven't gotten into the deep water, it's around your knees or something like that. And that's where you learn how to swim at dog paddling. Most of you can swim, know what dog paddling is. And so I guess when you look, you know, when you're hungry to want to do something and you just can't wait, and you just can't wait. I used to look out at the lake and see the big boys out there swimming. That looks so good out there in that big water. And I'm over in that mud puddle. I got to get out this mud puddle. I want to go there and swim with those big boys. But you know, there's something about peer pressure. You step out of the zone too soon, they'll laugh at you. They don't mind you coming out if you can hang, but if you can't hang, they laugh at you. So I decided one day that I was going to go out there. But what I wanted to do was go out there very early. See, I was young, so I got out of school before the big boys. So I was going to go out to the lake and swim across the lake before anybody get out there. Now, really, there were some more mud puddle kids out there, 2 or 3. But they didn't know what I was going to do. So when we got out there, when I got out there, and I made up my mind to make that move, I started dog paddling, going out of the water, out of the mud puddle, going on out in the lake, and then trying to make some strokes. It never crossed my mind that I couldn't cross that lake, but I wanted to cross it. So when the big boys come out there, I just go swimming with them. And if they didn't think I could do it, I could feel confident because I already went across that baby by myself. I mean, that was something else, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Can you believe that? I bet you adults now who got kids, and you heard a kid talking about doing some dumb stuff like that. I think you chastised them. Anyway, I started going on out there in the lake just like that. And having gotten a distance out there, I don't think I had gotten halfway, but I had definitely got about a third of the way. And I wasn't worried. I was still doing a little dog paddling every now and then trying to do a stroke because I'd never been stroking in the water. And so when I got to a point where I did a stroke and turned my head one way, I looked down the lake and I saw a tree trunk, and on that tree trunk was a moccasin. Now, I said I could swim across the lake. Drowning never crossed my mind. Neither did a snake. Had it crossed my mind, I never would have got in it. But I screamed just like a little girl. And the snake heard me. I think he did. It did, because it turned the head and looked at me and then flopped in the water. Whoa, flopped in the water? You talking about making an effort then? I made an effort. I mean, sure enough, swimming. I was flapping that water, and I realized I wasn't moving. I don't know what happened. I guess the miracle happened because those other guys saw me. I had been screaming, telling them to get out of the water. They saw me coming so fast, till they got out. And when I got up there, I came right up out of the water. As soon as I came up out of that water, got to the part where you can I would stand up and get on out the bank. And as soon as I did that, that snake came right up under me and went over towards some shallow water and curved up and watched me as the rest of us ran out of there. I ran out naked. So that was the beginning of me understanding that God is real. Because I went from having never done any swimming like that to outrunning the snake. I'll swim in the snake, whatever you want to call it. So it had to take a God to do that. Or, if it was not a God, they did, in the preparation of this guy right here, something extraordinary. Anyway, that was the beginning. I had a lot of experiences like that. So when people start talking to me about God, I know what I'm talking about. And I've tested God because God wants us to test God. He wants us to believe enough to check it out. And if it works, it proves itself. If it doesn't work, give it a few more shots. And if it still doesn't work, give it up. Anyway, one of the last, I can't tell you all these things too. God damn. It's too much to keep talking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying my best to find some system where I can use this phone and keep it doing my stuff without tearing my phone up. But, excuse me for that little cursing right there. But that's the way I felt. Anyway, so I'm still listening to God, and my life changes are being made, and you are the most important thing because you are a part of me. And I know that I want to live a wonderful life, and I know that every last one of you want to live a wonderful life as well. And since I want to live that, and I know that you want to live that, that makes me know that the God that made me, made us, want us to live a good life. And at the same time, I understand that sometimes people will do some strange things, like want to live a good life at the expense of others. They say any way necessary to live a good life. If they got to mess over you, they'll do that. And they do that because they don't know any other way. And the reason that people don't practice the other way is because the other way you got to get people to agree. And if you want to do things by yourself, you don't have to get people to agree. You just do what you want to do and exploit and take advantage of people. But that's not uh, bringing peace and prosperity and freedom and joy to the masses. So you're not truly representing that body of which you are made of. You're representing some structured, unstructured stuff that's going to destroy you. And so God wanted me to know, as I come out here and tell the people the message that I tell them, that they are on a path to destruction, that they really don't know love, even though they think they do. And so several times in my lifetime, I've traveled across this country on faith, just to share the message on the street corners and wherever I can get into a building publicly to make these statements, put out brochures and pamphlets, CDs or DVDs or cable access, to talk about the wonderfulness of God's love that is prepared for us once we open our eyes. Anyway, having done that, I was to keep records of everything that I engaged myself in, and come back and see what did it say. And it proved to me, based upon where I engaged myself in, that the people, the American people, the Christians, all of them on the wrong path. Then, just to prove that even more, I ran for President of the United States under the basic principles that I've been telling you about right here. Got no support from anyone. From the community. See, oh no, I wasn't out trying to raise money. I wasn't trying to do it the traditional way. I wanted to tell the people that the truth was available to them that would give them real life, that would give them peace and prosperity and freedom, joy of their lives, and their dreams come true. I mean, nobody want to carry that. Nobody talked about it. I thought they would. I was so excited when I ran. I thought what people would be, be honest, tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I was so glad I could see it. I could just see it. I thought that, I said, well, let me go out here and let me just tell the country. And when I tell the country, I thought the cameras would be there asking me all kind of questions, not necessarily trying to lift me up as being an answer to a prayer, but trying to check me out, see if I was a fraud, to see where I was coming from, to ask me the questions that the people are asking, get the answers if they're legitimate, or expose me if they weren't. I really was expecting that. They totally ignored me. But it also told me that the American people were not on the path that they were saying that they were on. It was proven to me that when people go to church on Sunday talking about how much they love God, they were faking it. Now, when they talked about how much God loved them, that was true. They told you how much God woke them up, fed them, got them out there. That was real. God did that. But that didn't do anything as far as them doing something for God. God don't get no glory out of you saying that. That doesn't mean a thing to the people who God needs to serve through you. So he wanted me to tell them that they were just fake. And he proved to me that they were fake. And I came out here and told you that you were fake. And the evidence of your being fake when it came down to the truth of love is you proved it by making Donald Trump president of the United States. He represented all the stuff that God has taught us not to be a part of. And the people fell in love with him. And when you tried to put him in his place, the reason that you weren't able to put him in his place is because you weren't authentic yourselves. And even though right now he's not president of the United States and other people got power, they themselves are not authentic. That's why we still got this chaos going around on the planet, got this chaos going around in the country, because those who are trying to replace that ugliness that we just got through going through is not authentic. They're a little bit better than the last stuff, but they're not authentic. And being fake, you know what that is. So I guess I just wanted to... Phew, boy. I guess I just wanted to share that with you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to thank you so very much for sharing your moments with me. And I hope you got something out of it. I was just supposed to say it. I said it. Goodbye.